G'day everyone, Steelhorse here on a chilly December morning. You'll see our sheep that we put in last time produced their first batch of wool. So that's all underway nicely. And because we've got snow on the way, I thought the first thing that we would do is come up and check the ploughing contract that we were running from last time. I'm not sure exactly where they got up to, but I'd be quite keen. It says it's about 2/3 of the way through, so if we can get the worker started again here, we should be in good shape. Right. So that should be just a matter of clicking the button. And away we go. That won't take too long for that field. So I might run over here and do the same on the cultivating job, which is just down the street a bit. And I'll check in with you again when I get down there. So here we are on the cultivating field. That's also progressing fairly well. So we'll get this guy underway too. And that's the contracts underway. With snow inbound, I'm quite keen to get a couple of things done today. Certainly those contracts progressed, but let's head back to the yard and just catch up on what's been going on there. So back here at the yard, two things you might notice. At the end of the last episode, after I finished up, I thought about what's going to be happening through December and January, and concluded that we probably didn't need the forage wagon until potentially late February or March, and that it might be better, in fact, just to return it. Rather than pay the daily rate, particularly as we're going to more than likely get a larger one in the new year, all being well. And when I went to the shop, I found in the used equipment this tedder, which I thought would be extremely handy, and it was about half price, about $6,500. So I thought that was too good a deal to ignore, so I bought that. So that's why our money dropped down to around about 40, and then our overnight leasing deductions for the equipment that we've got leased, and we've got quite a big set of leased equipment. As you can see, the deductions for all of these on a day-to-day basis come to about $3,000 before the hourly usage is considered. So I was feeling pretty good about the finances, hence the reason why I snapped up the tedder. Now, if we look in the shop this morning, there is a shallow cultivator that would be quite useful, but is probably beyond our means in terms of pulling power for a little while. So nothing to buy there. What I was thinking, though, is I've given some more thought. I think I talked about greenhouses in the last episode, and I think they really would add quite a bit. But if you look at the land there, it's not as flat as I would like. And what I'm kind of thinking is putting them down the middle here so that we preserve some farming area on, well, some arable area on the other side. So before I do anything, I think what we want to do is me to move back out of the way. But I think it would be wise to flatten a section. And can we get in a little bit, maybe from this side? Too many building collisions here. That's as close as it'll let me get. So let's go in to landscaping. Landscaping. So what I'm thinking is to take this level here and pull that across and then just maybe from this side. Just bring that level all the way through. So then, with any luck, when we position our greenhouses, this is the one that does the extra products. Oops, I think we want them the way around. Make sure we keep the produce, which is on the right hand side, off of the it'll let us go back to about there, which I think is quite good. We'll pop that one there, and then we'll grab one of our matanas. The produce is also on the right hand side. That wants to do a little bit more landscaping, which is interesting. So let's bring that out a bit. Let's try and reduce the surprises we get when we place it. That's better. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't put the two water points at the same end, but I think over there so that it's not on our... Not... What have I done for... It's not... Just can't quite get my camera in the right position. It's very annoying. There we go. I think that line there will do us. Okay. We've got a bit of a smoothing to do into that field, but not too bad. So I think for now, that's quite good. We need to get some water in that back one, and we also need to go to the shop and get some seeds and fertilizer for this one. So I think before we do that, well, let's put some water in them. That's a good start. The good news was my wheel has arrived, so I'm back productive. There we go. Just be able to hook on around that pallet. Just cut across the field here. Oh, in fact, we've still got a little bit of water in there, so that might prove to be enough for the... Back that up to do the open air garden. And then let's head over to get another load. Here we are down at the water. So we'll just fill up. That will do it. Dip the edge of the tank in so the pickup can feed and head on back. We probably need 2 trips, I suspect. One thing I'm finding with my new wheel, the either the force feedback or the return spring is particularly heavy, despite the fact that I've put the settings down much lower than I would normally have them. So something odd going on there. Let's pop through the gap here. Was hoping that trigger would be nice and conveniently close. So I think I'll put one more load of water in each, and then that'll have us in pretty good shape. Only takes a few seconds, and it looks like one of our workers has gotten themselves blocked, so we'll need to go and check on that. I might go and check on that when this is unloading. This is very convenient having a fill point so close. Going forward, we might look at adding to our auto drive course. Perhaps we'll do that next time to put a loop in for the water fill to these these facilities. Let's see how that goes. That's interesting. The water fill for here, it comes all the way out. So while that's filling, let's pop across to check on our cultivating and our ploughing. Cultivating, it looks like it's working just fine, but the plough has stopped at a tree. It looks like the ploughing, in fact, only really needs the headlands to complete. So I'm inclined to jump in the tractor here and let's whip round and see how close we get completing these headlands. And we'll just whip across the top here. Put down our plough. Not. Let's correct that. Choose the correct tool. And away we go. That's that going 82% on this field. It looks like we'll progress a couple of these contracts before the snow comes. Haven't checked the weather timing. There we go. Run down the edge here. 83%. In the goodness of time, picking up this field, I think, will be a useful addition, as is the field next door. It's just a question of how our finances go, I think, over the next couple of months, whether we'll be able to afford to add one or other. I'd kind of like to get the large one first, but of course that's a bit more of a stretch. I think from memory this one is around about 24,000, which looks like it's within reach, whereas the field 9 runs to about 70. So there we go, 94%. I reckon doing this edge will get us very close. As we run up the hill here. on the top of the hill there, you can see the fields. There's olives and grapes planted, mainly olives on the top near that windmill. 1% to go. Just a little bit of this here, I suspect. Let's just finish that bit there. I think that will go very close. And there we go. So that's that field. So that enables us then, I think, just to move across the strip here and start off again with our course play in this field. So if we go to our setup page, we want to create a job now on CP field work. The field position is here. The target position is here. We want to create a course that is the work width. 3 headlands, I think, is a good idea. We will start in the center again. All the other settings. Let's generate this course. That looks like it's come up quite nicely. So let's begin. And we can step back and see where he goes for his first looking for the start point. It'd be 3 headlands in, it'd be somewhere around there, I would have thought. Or is the start point on the other side of the field? Looks like it might be. Ah, there it is on the top edge. So we might leave that to it and run back through the corn and finish with our water. So here we go. So let's do one more load of water. We won't leave water in the tank over the winter. Here comes the snow. So our timing of getting some of these things done is pretty good. But the way things are going, it might be a bit of an early mark today. Get in out of the weather. I wonder if there's a restaurant in the area with a fire. That'd be a lovely way to spend a snowy afternoon. Always a feature of skiing holiday when the weather gets too grim. So there we go. There's another tank that should allow us to top off the other greenhouse and see about where we can get to. We might come in the back way and park the tanker at the end of the open garden. That might be a good spot. That allows us to fill. While that's filling, let's have a look at how these have come along. So we're not doing anything with our fermenter silo at the moment. This is our new greenhouse, which will do the 3 standard crops, but also cucumbers, peppers, and onions. So everything seems to be the standard, the same amount of cycles, and just a little bit of variation depending. Well, in fact, it looks like the water consumptions are standardized more so than the outputs, but they're very similar. So what I'm inclined to do for the minute is let's turn everything on and just have a bit of a look. That means everything will produce more slowly, of course, but we should get an array or an assortment of produce. And in the open air garden, what I'm thinking is to do potatoes for to allow us to seed the garden bed next. So I think that's the most practical. Potentially we could put a few sunflowers in there as well, but we're going to need some seeds and solid fertilizer. What are they? And they will produce plenty by the looks. Equal amounts of seed and solid fertilizer. So let's, just while we're here, have a look at those additional crops. Where are they? Hiding down here. Here we go. Peppers, onions. So peppers are quite lucrative. Oh, they're up near the high price, that's why. Onions don't trade in much of a range. And cucumbers. So it looks like the wholesale point is the only place to sell them, which is fine. I don't know if the wholesale point will take, they will take tomatoes, strawberries, and lettuce. So we've got a few choices when we've got some product. But in the meantime, I think we might, while this weather is so terrible, is duck down the shop and pick up some seed and some fertilizer, so that we can stock up those two, the open air garden. What I was thinking was if we just pull in here and drop that off, we can also, while I'm thinking about it, go down to our settings and turn off the zone markers, which makes it look a little bit cleaner. So let's head down to the shop. Somebody's blocked again by the looks. It's a very grey, snowy day out there, isn't it? I feel cold just looking out the window. If you're wondering, the delete key on the keyboard gets rid of that little menu for course play, or toggles it. Yep. Coming up on the store now. We'll park over here. We're going to need the loader. Right, so we want not to look at equipment. Financially, I think let's just get one bag of each for the minute. No doubt we will need more, but just because of the time of year and the fact that we can't generate any cash, let's make sure that we don't put ourselves in a difficult position. Okay. Now, an interesting question. Will you? Line that up a little bit better. Lift them both? Yes, you will. But will you lift them high enough to get them on the tray? Yes, you will. Excellent. That was straightforward. Surprisingly so, given the weather. All right. So that's that job done. Strap everything on. And back we go. See you back at the yard. Here we are back at the yard. If anything, the snow appears to be getting heavier. So we'll see how we go. They will load happily off the back of the ute, obviously. Which means we're in a position now. Go and have a look. Seeds and solid fertilizer. So we can start some potatoes and some sunflowers. And let's see how that goes. White. And there we go. Excellent. We go back to our contracts. I would like to get this cultivating contract done if possible. And perhaps the way to do that would be to take over from the worker and switch to some music. Couple of little patches that the field owner might want to check out. Oops, turn to sharp. Down we go. It's pretty much that stripe. %. Tool up. Have off another little section. Find our heading. Away we go. Any luck, 2 more. Run sort of 1 loop, but hopefully do it here. And that's the contract complete. Wonderful. So we might just pop on back to the yard, I think, and be calling that a day. The ploughing contract won't finish, but hopefully the snow won't really set in, and we can sort that one out next time. But in the meantime, another productive day. The year comes to an end. If you observe Christmas, then you're probably in for a treat. But in terms of today's progress, I'm very happy. It's nice and warm here in the cab, and I think we're all set up for a promising new year, where hopefully we'll be able to get a few more different sources of income and really kick up the development of our farm. But until next time, thank you very much everyone for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. See ya.